What's good, Ken Gonda YouTube channel? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk, and this the Africa edition, right? I do this on my main channel, on my O'Shea Duke Jackson channel, but today we're gonna cover it from Africa, right? And shout out to the continent. Y'all know what time it is. Let's go all the way to the continent. And today we're talking about Beyonce. Now everybody knows who she is. Legendary singer out of the Houston, Texas area. Just phenomenal voice. I grew up on Beyonce, we around the same age. So I've seen Beyonce not only come up in the American market, but I've witnessed her ability to transform the whole entire world. 2 years ago, I was living in Poland, right? And Beyonce came to Warsaw, and it was sold out. And it's amazing that this thing happens, right? And not even only that, also on the continent, Beyonce is huge. She's an influencer, and people really love her. She's an inspiration to a lot of African women. And so what's happening now is there is a new album called Black is King. And it's kind of like an album that's a video album, and it will be streaming on Disney Plus. And this is huge, right? We all know that Disney owns Marvel, which, you know, obviously put out the Wakanda, the Wakanda movie that a lot of blacks liked. And it's gonna pretty much feature collaborations with a lot of African musicians, right? Wizkid, Burna Boy. So the biggest people in Nigeria are coming onto the scene. And not only does Beyonce find value in that, but Disney, right? They see the value of the Afrobeat industry, the Nollywoods, what people are doing on the continent. And this isn't the first time that Beyonce has paid homage, right, to Africa. She's done, music videos there. She's referenced traditional Yoruba identities like Oshun and things like that. And basically, she's also been a voice for black activism, right? And she's one of the premier people from Black America to reach out to the continent. And it's funny, while some people are excited about this project, many people are not, all right? And let's just be real. There is some sort of beef, if you want to say it, that does exist between the African American community and the African community, whether that's the African community in the States or the African community at large. There is that, kind of back and forth between the two. It's not really a huge thing. It's much bigger in the States than it is abroad, but there is some tension. It can be between the two communities. And I want to kind of, look at some of these responses to what you see here. And what they're saying is that Beyonce doesn't really know African culture, all right? And she's pretty much stealing from the culture, and all she's using is the Nigerian part and not other parts, just really the Yoruba parts. So this guy right here, Kaye Vuitton, I don't know if that's a woman or a man, but she says, can someone tell Beyonce that Africa doesn't have one culture and that we are normal human beings? What's with all of this Wakanda nonsense? All right? And then this person also says below that she's homogenizing and erasing parts of Africa's history. Now, let me look at what Danny Logleg says. Take music! Y'all know I love me some Beyonce, but this whole homogenization of African culture is just weird, and it makes it seem like Africa was perfect pre-colonization. It wasn't. Now, there's also this new idea of Wakandification, right, of Africa. And this person, Jade, says this. Dayton music! The Wakandification of the continent and black diaspora identities is entirely uninspired. The repeated tropes, symbolic gestures that homogenize and essentialize thousands of African cultures in service of securing the terrain for black capitalist possibilities and futures is tired. Okay? And then look at Sim Music. Now, he says that Africa should tell its own story. He says this: we as Africans need to tell more of our own stories on our own terms. We have many billionaires who can invest into pushing out lots of different stories and films for different genres that highlight our diversity. This could build soft power and shift the narrative about us. So, let me also read this last one, right? Noxie says, Beyonce needs to stop using Africa as a trope because she won't even come here to tour. So let's stop right there. A lot of different ideologies that are against this. But the brother that said the most important thing was Sim Music. Africa needs to tell more of our own stories on our own terms. But see, here's what black people, Africans and African Americans have a lot of trouble with. You don't tell your stories on your own terms. So Disney tells it for you. You see, that's what happens. When you don't put up your own money, you don't run your anything. Only thing that you run is your mouth. And this is a problem for Africa and African Americans. You want somebody to do something for you, but you don't want to put the money up. Disney puts the money up. Now, I agree. Yes, Beyonce is Wakanda-fying Africa, and yes, she's stealing from the culture. Okay, I get it. But we gotta be honest here. I'm in Uganda right now. I see Africans stealing from the African American culture every day. If you go to Lagos, you go to Johannesburg. I'm like, when did Pookie and Ray Ray come out here? Come on, y'all. Y'all not gonna play me. We want to talk about borrowing from cultures. Y'all do it on a larger scale. If we won't say that, right? And I'm not saying y'all. I mean continental Africans, because we all are black people. Okay. And yes, African Americans be biting y'all style also. But these are petty ass arguments. This is petty. It's stupid. What we should be talking about is how black Americans in the diaspora and Africans can come together and make our own stuff and keep Disney out of it. Facts. That's the only conversation we need to be having right now. Not none of that other garbage stuff. Because all that other stuff people talking about is weak. It's powerless. We need to bring black people together and leave petty ass arguments on the side. And how do we do it? Number one, if you want to tell your own story, put your money up to tell the story. Educate Beyonce so she knows the story. Because Disney's telling the story. Because Disney got the money. And if Africans and African Americans don't put their money up, you will continue to be at the bottom of the barrel. That's what happens. Sorry. They will continue to gentrify everything. Black America, they're gonna gentrify Africa, everything, and you're gonna be sitting there complaining. Stop complaining, put your damn money up. And let me tell you something. You African brothers out there and African American brothers out there, stop waiting for billionaires to bail you out. It's not billionaires' responsibility to put up money for you. Those billionaires have their own bills, their own cultures, their own stuff. I'm blaming the people in the film industries. You guys have the money to do it, do it. African American filmmakers, do it. You find a way to get the money up, and everybody putting their money together. I don't care if it's $1, I don't care if it's $3, I don't care if it's $5. We all go fund it. And we all raise money to do it. And make it black owned, and everybody contributes. All the entertainers and everybody spread the message and stuff, and all the influencers spread their message, and we all do it together. Because we're crying too much. Crying about nothing. And all I'm hearing right now is a group of blacks and our people in the continent of Africa don't want to put their money up and tell their own story. If you don't spend your money or raise your own funds, Disney always gonna Wakanda-fy you. Don't blame her. Blame also yourself. And Beyonce is going where the money is. Let me tell you this. If there's any African studio out there that will put the money up, that Disney would do it, Beyonce will gladly do it with you. All right? Now, in her defense, yes, she's Wakanda-fying Africa, okay. But at the same time, she's putting a bigger artist on. That's the start. The next step is getting rid of Disney altogether, black family. And we gotta start really being serious about this thing. I need all the black people together. Even for me in Uganda. When I came here, I came with my own money. I brought my own computer equipment, and I dived in and asked nobody for no help. All the things that you see on this channel come from hard work. No loans. No nothing. All right? But I'm a living witness that you can do things in Africa if you put your money up. And you can make it. we got to get out of this mentality of wanting Disney to put our cultures out there when we ain't paying for it. That's stupid. And that's all I gotta say about this. It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with the first King Gonda Celebrity Junk. Subscribe, hit the bell. Glad to be here. Appreciate the black family out there, man. So much support from Kenya and Uganda up in this thing. African Americans, all the blacks together. Love you, brothers and sisters, man. Like the video, subscribe, share. And as you know, the buffoonery always remains at all-time high. This is your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson of the Celebrity Junk. We out. Peace.